This is the story of the super force of space explorers. More than me.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I am your host, Stone Loki, and I am joined today by two of the most wonderful ladies on YouTube, the Lady Arwyn Avalon and our UK lady, Starry Eyed Girl. How are y'all this morning?
Good morning and good afternoon to the Brits. Yeah, just kind of snuck in there into.
Starry sent me a message about 30 seconds before we went live. Internet running slow. StreamYards is taking its time.
I was like Max. I was like running like this. Got to get on before the intro finishes.
You got the sprint in. You're here. Nice.
Oh. How are y'all?
I'm brilliant. Yeah, it's very warm. We've actually got heat in the UK. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's just, but I remember when I was there, there's no air conditioning.
No.
It just doesn't exist.
And it should. I don't know why we haven't got it. It comes as a surprise every year. So,
I know it, but I feel for you. I really do.
And right off the bat this morning, we've got a $5 super chat from Snorted Poop Skewer who says, "There is a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of fake Twitter accounts suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced."
It's true. I went into panic. I went to log on to Twitter and I'm like, okay, tap, 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 tap. Well, that's not right. Refresh. Oh my God! Refresh.
Yes,
Twitter's down, y'all.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
But
I came on and I was like, "Oh, what you on about, you lot in Discord?" And then I went on like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
it's happening everywhere."
how am I gonna get links out this morning? How are we gonna get links out this morning?
No.
And I was like, Discord. We'll use Discord. I knew it was good for something.
I'm like, I get all my StreamYard links through Twitter. Oh my God, it's broken. What am I gonna do? Yeah, Discord.
Discord. Good morning, everybody out there. I know we've been joking. Oh, good morning. Mark the Blue Tire says, admit it, Starry. You were admiring those caramel encrusted bat nipples of George Clooney. That's the reason for the heat wave.
But Mark, too sticky in this weather, love. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, moist, Mark, moist.
Yeah, don't do caramel in some.
Moist caramel bat nipples. I just can't.
God.
Sticky, sweet, moist. No.
Oh dear.
NB Geek, Let's Talk says hashtag blame Loki. Absolutely. Gary Benjamin Sandwich Worthington says the exact thing. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. Twitter was down. Yeah, and I rolled over and hit the wrong button, and I took Twitter out first thing this morning. Dara the Derelict, greetings program. How are you doing this morning? Pops is in the house. Good morning, Pops. Pat S. Good morning, Pat. How are you doing, brother? Project story time. How are you doing? I think he was talking about something up there earlier. I don't know. I think I saw something. I'll have to find it. Yeah. We're getting going slow today. We're getting going a little slow today. Lady Mist, the Guardian of the Void. Good morning, Lady Mist. Hello, Psychodorf 9. Good morning, Psychodorf 9. Shellback TJC, how are you doing there, buddy? Snortapoops Cuber, my favorite polar bear in YouTube. Good morning. Joker Voice. Hello, ladies. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Joker Voice. How are you doing? I mean, Joker Voice sounds, guess what? Just like the Joker voice. Oh, come on. Batman smells Robin laid an egg. I can't do it like he can do it. He does it a lot better than I do it. I can do Batman better. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. Anyway.
That Christian Bale kind of gruffness.
Where are the other drugs? Oh my God. I was like, dude, who is this? What is that? That can't be Bale, but no, yeah. Where are the other monsters?
Where are they?
Where are they?
Yeah.
God, I thought I was listening to Rorschach for a minute. You're locked in here with me. Damn. Good morning, everybody. We are here this morning to talk about Stranger Things. So if you have not seen, I'm gonna put a banner up because I'm sure people are gonna come in and be like, "What the hell?" Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah,
we're gonna be talking about Stranger Things. We're gonna be talking about everything. Stranger Things, not just season 4, but everything. So we're gonna kick it into gear this morning and talk Stranger Things. Just as a quick round of questions, real quick to start things off. Don't go into too much detail. Just tell me what you thought of the new season. We'll start with Starry and we'll go to Arwyn, and then I'll speak my mind real quick.
I was really surprised at how big it went, because there was such a big gap. And I thought, have they lost the momentum? And when I almost forgot that it came back. And I thought, they've lost this now. It's fallen off the tracks. And of course, it just absolutely exploded. So I'm really, chuffed for everyone. God, yeah, back with a bang. Really enjoyed the more adult themes, the horror theme. I'm really getting that, Harry Potter vibe where, as the kids get older. I just love the dark. It's always a cliche. Oh, it's darker as the kids get older, but it's true that the doors it's opened and the avenues they're going down and the more like psychological stuff. Really loving it.
Okay, Arwyn.
This season in particular to me was a breakout season. I mean, I love the show, y'all. I love the show. I like when I sat down to finally watch it, it was like I binged watched it, like season 1 all the way to season 3, and then season 4 finally came out. This, oh my God, it's like part Twin Peaks, part Buffy the Vampire Slayer, part X-Files, with its own special sauce, its own little secret ingredient that makes it Stranger Things. And this season in particular, I mean, the performances throughout all the seasons are incredible. But like Starry said, the kids are older now. It's getting more intense. It's getting down to, balls to the wall, nitty gritty. And the performances in this season just blew me away. I mean, from episode to episode to episode to episode, there was never an episode that kind of lulled for me. It was all hit the ground running. And I was blown away. I think I've watched this season 3 times already. I love this show. And this season just hit it. I mean, I cried, y'all. I cried. I don't want to say right now. Sorry, did you cry? Did you cry? I was like, oh, hell no, you did not go there.
God, I was a mess.
Oh, yeah. It just, yeah. Like I said, I'm happy dancing in my chair. I'm back and forth this morning. I love it.
And it felt like a movie, not just because of the running time. I thought was really good because the pacing, I thought was really, it never felt, as long as there were, but the cinematography, I'm just like, this should be shown, in the theaters.
Yes.
In 3D surround sound. Could you just imagine?
Oh,
certain scenes.
Yes, that's what I would love. Yeah, it did. It feels like a movie broken up into a lot of parts for TV, but not even for TV. I could go to a theater and sit and watch it and be like, bring me my popcorn, bring me my soda. I'm fine. I'm here. I'm in for the long haul. It really
look
did.
At
the quality is amazing.
Look at the runtime on each episode. Each episode's like a mini movie, and then you get to that last episode, and I was like 2.5 hours. I was like, holy shit! I was 2.5 hours. That they could have broke that up into 2 episodes, but they didn't. They kept it all one episode. I was really, really surprised. They had that huge episode at the end,
and it didn't feel like it. It honestly, it flew by, and it's very rare. You can say that about some things, but I just feel like with this series, it's got the best of both worlds because you've got the look and feel of the movie, but obviously because it's TV, you've got to, you haven't got to go. I'm sure things were cut out, but you've got time to devote to each characters, and there's about 4 different story threads going off as well. That time to devote to it, and it just made me think back to when Game of Thrones first started, when it was proper water cooler television, and you'd meet up with people and you'd talk, what's going to happen? And we had that with Stranger Things as well, but it was just, it felt like the stakes were higher, and it was, who's going to die this time? And it just took me back to that. It was just, wow, we've missed this. We've had about 4 years where we've not had anything this good to really get our teeth into.
Yep.
Really quick, let me catch up with a couple of the chats in chat. Lord Thoth rejoined as a warrior of Midgard. Thank you so very much, brother. You guys keep us going week after week. Mark the Infinitely Tired threw out a member chat, an 18-month Loki's Army member chat, and said, I promise I will not harass Starry. I promise I will not harass Arwen.
Mark,
I promise
don't make
I will not
promises that you don't intend to keep, right?
I promise I will not harass Starry. I promise. Moist, yes. Oh, Joker Boy said I just made a clown blush. Thank you. Darius Munchausen throws out some popcorn with a $1.49 super sticker. Thank you so very much for the popcorn. I love popcorn. I could sit there and watch Stranger Things all day and make popcorn. MB Geek with a $5 super chat says, okay, who crashed Twitter for 45 minutes, possibly while heavily drinking? Mexican Iron Man, I'm looking in your direction. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, MB Geek and SKOL, brother. I'm so happy that Stranger Things is back to water cooler, because I kind of felt like after season 3, I was kind of like, oh, this has been the weakest of the season. And that was I've talked to a couple of people that like, no, it was great, and I'm like, I hated the way things were like with Elle and Mike, and she treated him like shit, and I'd break up with your ass. And I was like, no, no.
I know.
And Hopper's driving down the road, and you don't get messed around with, Jim. Oh, yeah. And I love that. I absolutely love that, because that's exactly what I would have done. 3 inches. 3 inches.
Yeah.
And he finally broke him up, and he's like, yeah, power piston in his blazer. And it was just like, but I don't know. To me, it wasn't the same. But watching 4, I'm like, okay, so much more stuff makes sense. And I was pissed at the beginning, because I was like, oh no, don't tell me Elle killed all those kids. Don't you go back and retcon that shit and make me think that 11's this monster.
Yeah.
You don't you dare do this shit. And of course they didn't. And I was so happy that they didn't. Eventually it is explained what happened. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But the first season I thought was absolutely awesome. I thought the first season was absolutely awesome. I think the second season was a good follow-up. It really was, but I didn't like it as much as the first. But it was still good work all around. It wasn't until season 3 that I was like,
Yes, there were. I mean, it's always when you have such a hit series, I think it's difficult just to follow it up. But I think season 2 did a relatively good job with that. Season 3 was just too much comedy. It didn't fit with the tone of the show, I don't think. And things were creeping, like we got Fat Hopper. And I'm like, no, don't do this to Hopper. And then, I made him do dumb things. When you think about season 1, and you'll know, Arwen, because you've just, rewatched them all, how clever and shrewd he is at figuring things out. And then suddenly in season 3, he's just blundering around. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? This isn't Hopper.
yes.
It was like the characters, and I noticed that too. And one of the things that did annoy me about season 3, which, once shit started to hit the fan, it got away from that a little bit, and I was glad. But it was like the characters, you see them fleshed out so well, and everyone is so unique, and just by the dialogue, their personalities come out. So you know who they are, you know what they're about. And then season 3, they're almost surface level. There's too much what I call the yuck factor. Too much of that, yeah, is thrown in, and they're too one-dimensional for a while. And that irritated me. I'm like, no, okay, I get y'all are trying to go for a breather, trying to, show there's some sense of normalcy restored, whatever, but it was too much. And I didn't like it. I like that even when things are going good, I kind of like that simmering beneath the surface. And
so
you didn't really
go
get
ahead.
that, but no, I was just going to say you didn't really get that at first, but then toward the end of the season, it's like, yeah, okay, we could see it all. They're not staying in that one-dimensional vein, but yeah, for season 3.
So I have a question for you ladies, and I think this is a very important question. Team Jonathan or Team Steve?
This is, do you know what? This is the only thing I didn't really like about this season, and it's only a quibble, but I just thought Jonathan was absolutely useless until like the last episode, which is such a shame because I don't know. I was kind of hoping Nancy and Steve were kind of going to get back together because Steve's changed so much. I feel like Jonathan's hit a standstill. I don't quite know what's going on with him at the minute. But yeah, it really frustrated me, that them not telling each other things, and even in the final episode, they still weren't saying how they were feeling, and like Jonathan, Nancy, you're right there, and you're just like, we're all right, aren't we? Like, clearly you're not, because you spent the entire season moaning about each. like banging the heads together, just talk.
Well, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say neither Team Eddie.
Eddie Munson. Eddie Munson has been the biggest addition to Stranger Things, I think, since the show started. I'm like so Team Eddie. Eddie is pretty much like me from high school. Except I did play sports. I was a geek and I was a metalhead before that. So it's like seeing Eddie, I'm like, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The Metallica thing, everybody knows I love Metallica. Yeah. I loved Metallica when I was in my teens, growing up. If I could relate to anybody, it was Eddie in this season.
I'm married an Eddie. I was looking this morning. I was going through my pictures of my late husband when we first met, and he looked like Eddie. I'm like, here's your picture. I swear to God, I wanted to find it and send it to you, Loki. But he was
that's amazing.
So yeah, all hail the nerds, y'all. I'm
all
about the nerds.
See, I'm not a metalhead as such. I do like Metallica, but I kind of related to Eddie as like that outsider putting in that face. I love the quieter scenes with him when you realise he isn't this obnoxious person that he presents himself at school. And I really wanted Eddie and Chrissy to get together. I thought that's what was going to happen. And then by the end of that first episode, I was like, what are you doing?
I know. I was so pissed because Eddie just oozes charm.
Yes.
When you strip past all the, like you said, the metalhead, the bravado, the school Eddie, he just, oh my God, he oozes charm. I did too. I was sitting there watching them and I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. And then, bleh. No.
I was like, did you know though? Because I was like, is this going to be Bob all over again?
Yes.
Like, damn you.
Damn you, yes. Yes.
Damn you. Hell yeah. I agree.
So Eddie Munson, man, gets blamed for the death of a young girl. In the beginning, it's a girl his own age. I say young girl because, they're young to me, but not young to Eddie. He gets blamed for her death. She goes to him. And see, here's the deal. There's a lot. I can't remember what the new jock is called. I'm going to have to look up his damn
is it, Jason.
Name.
Jason?
No. I think so. But that girl's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
The new girl, the girl that gets taken out first. Did y'all think she was pregnant? Because I thought she was pregnant at the beginning of the episode. She's throwing up in the toilet.
I didn't get the eating disorder / abuse thing until it was. I rewatched it, and when the vision of her mum saying she was going to gutter like a pig, and altering the dress, I was like, oh right, okay, I get it now.
Yep. The same thing. It wasn't until it started unfolding that I'm like, wait, okay, she's not. Oh, I get it. I got it. That was,
But I thought at first that maybe she was pregnant with his baby. That's why he lost his crap so much. I mean, he's almost like a villain in this.
Yeah, he is.
And that's something I want to see. I want follow-up. I don't want that just to be the end of his character. I want follow-up next season. I want something going on. I want something happening. Maybe it takes over him, uses him like it did Max's brother, like it did Billy. I want to see. I want more of this. I do.
Yeah. I actually did wonder if he was going to be a victim because I thought, well, he's moaning the loss of his girlfriend. Then it took his friend, and I actually thought, well, was he, going to be the next target? But that didn't pan out. But yeah, it was good because it had that. You got the human threat of him rallying, getting the pitchforks and everything, and I think that was the worst thing, that nobody knows that Eddie's innocent. The town still think, that he's done it. And they're like, they better resolve that next season.
And the Hellfire Club. It's not just him. It's the Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
The
whole
devil worshipping D&D players. And that's a thing that happened in the 80s.
Yeah, it was amazing because obviously I wasn't aware of this. Yeah, the character that Eddie was based on and all that. It was just, insane.
And that is,
I had to explain to my best friend's mom back in it was early 90s, because he went home and he was very religious at church every Sunday. He went home and he was like, we played D&D, and she was like, Christopher, I don't know what kind of devil worshiping things you're doing over there. And I was like, no, Mama, it's not even like that. I was like, we play and we do this and we roll dice. And she's like, so it's like a board game is what you're saying. And I said, yeah, it's like a board game. And she's like, all right, but as long as you aren't doing any of that devil worshiping. And I was like, no, Mama. I called her Mama because she was like my mama too. Yeah. So I called her Mama. I never called her by her actual name. I always called her Mama. But yeah, I mean, it was just, and that was in the 90s. I'm not even talking about in the shit that went down in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember a lot of that too. And God, I've been playing D&D since I was 11.
Actually, I doxed my friend's name because his name's Christopher. So we were talking to his mom, and yeah, I don't want you doing any of that devil worshiping, Christopher. No, Mama, no, I didn't even like that. We were playing. This, and once I explained it to her, and she was like, all right, as long as it's like a board game, y'all aren't summoning any demons or any crazy things like that. Y'all make sure you aren't wearing hoodies when you go walking. No hoodies. No, you don't want to be seen as one of them hoodlums. Yeah. No running the roads now. If Chris is out there listening, he's like, oh my God.
I was like, oh, bless you, Chris.
Y'all ain't going out in the middle of the night and running those roads.
I love Hawkins though, because this what happens at the end, like the apocalypse has happened and they're all just like, oh, it's just an earthquake.
It's just an earthquake.
Yeah. You tore a hole into another dimension. The entire town is now a gateway, and they're like, 7.6 earthquake hit the town of Hawkins. What little town of Hawkins? There's a giant glowing red X in the middle of the town, but it was just an earthquake.
Just an earthquake, yeah. And I was like, people are still there.
A volcano has formed at the middle of the town. Ash is going into the air. It is the end times, but it was just an earthquake, ladies and gentlemen.
It's par for the course. But that is one thing that I do love about this show is that Hawkins itself is a character. Mm-hmm. The city is the main character. It's not just Elle's story. It's not just Mike's story or Dustin's or Eddie's or whoever. It is the story of Hawkins.
And the upside down Hawkins too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this because we got that revelation about how the upside down is stuck in November 1983. I was like, now is this down to Will going, or is this down to Juan?
Vecna, it's Vecna. Yeah, I really believe that.
But I was thinking, when did he get sent there on the same date as Will got in, or did this happen before? Because I was thinking, one was in that facility all them years from being a kid. Yeah, he wasn't allowed to leave because he said he was a prisoner in there. So how does he know what Hawkins looks like outside? Because the only Hawkins he would know would be the late 50s Hawkins. When he
It's
was
true. And it may be from him trying to open the gate. It may be because we see what the upside down looked like before Vecna manipulated anything. And it's just like you see mountains, you see rocks floating in the air, you see all these weird things, but it doesn't look like Hawkins at all.
No.
There is no dark tentacled veins going everywhere, any of that. So I think from him trying to open a gateway, because he talks about that, I can't do it. And if you go back and you watch season 1, there's some really interesting little tidbits you're gonna catch. The demon dogs cannot do what him and Elle can.
Yeah.
But if you watch that very first episode, when Will runs into his house and locks the door, the locks open on their own.
Yes. Yes.
That's how the demon dogs get in his house. That's why he runs to the shed, all of that. And the portals that are opening are not staying open. It's like they're there. It's like Vecna's trying to open them, but he can't. So it's like a demon dog will get into our world for, a minute and then poof, it's gone.
Yeah.
And almost every trace of it's gone. I think there was only a little tiny trace of it in the shed where it got Will. So it can take things back and forth, but it can only do it on very rare occasions. And blood was the medium. Blood was the medium of letting it, forcing like a demon dog over a demigorgon over into the real world and back. And I thought that damn thing killed Papa in the first season, and no, it jumped on him. And then that's all you ever see. So when they're like, no, he's not dead, and because they give you that little tidbit in 2, I was like, no, he's bullshitting you. He's lying to you, or he's got some kind of superpowers. No, it got him, but then it gets ripped back into its reality. And that's something you don't see, is the fact that it's phasing in and out of the upside down. But that opening bit, it had to be a telekinetic like 11. Because it opened the damn locks on the doors, and the demigorgons can't do that. The demon dogs can't do that.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. I'm going to rewatch it now. I'm going to see this. But this is the thing. I mean, I know there's been big gaps, but it just, when the Duffer brothers say that they've got a plan, I do believe them. It's not a plan like Ryan Johnson or Dan and Dave. I believe they have got that end point, and it's just getting to it, and you can see like everything, little breadcrumbs that they've left. So I do think, and again, this all comes back, down to the writing, and I think they've been pretty good. I mean, I think there's been a couple of little blips. I think generally, their standard of writing is really good. I think, I want to see more TV from them. When Stranger Things is over, because I do think they're talented.
Oh, I agree. The writing has been very solid, and like you said, there's a plan and an intelligence behind the writing. It's not just, okay, well, what can we throw together this week? There's a thread, there's a continuity that you'd have to have on a show like this to really draw people in, unless you're just doing a monster of the week. But that's not the show. The show is not a monster of the week. It's the story of Hawkins. It's the story of how these characters get brought together, which is brilliant and so organic and makes so much sense when you watch those first few episodes and you have all these different kinds of characters. You've got the nerds, you've got the popular kids, you've got the adults, you've got all of them. It's like, how in the hell are they going to be brought together that's going to make any sense? But it does.
It does, yeah.
It's brilliant because they have a plan, and they're treating this like an epic. It is an epic span over these seasons. It's not just one story here, one story there. they have all these little lines that they bring together. And
Daryl the Derelict just reminded me that Jason the Jock died when the rift opened. So thank you. You won't be in the next season.
Oh yeah,
I forgot
we did
about that. Yeah. I forget about that. It cut him in half when the rift opened in the house.
It did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I remember that. It's right in my head now. I remember.
Oh yeah, that's
Slice.
Slice.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was it. That okay. After what
Yeah.
I've just said about Duffer Brothers writing, that was a bit of a cop out.
You know, to be fair,
yeah.
there's so much crammed in those last couple of episodes. It's like I could go back and I could rewatch them again and again and again, and I would still find something new. Or still find something. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So this thing, it's got that rewatchability as well.
Oh yeah.
So, did seeing Papa this season change your perception of him? Just being like the big bad guy, because he isn't a one-dimensional bad guy, is it?
Yeah.
Did you feel sorry for him?
Not at all.
No.
I know he cares about her, and I know he cared about his test subjects, whether he wanted to admit it or not, but that still doesn't, it almost makes it worse for me, because how could you do something like that to kids that you say you care about? You claim you care about these kids, that you always cared about them. How the hell do you do something like this to them? Because he was using them. He was using them to spy on the Russians. They show you that. He was spying on the Russians. He used L to try and find one. There was all these things that he used these kids for. And he still says, I always cared about you. I always loved you from the very beginning. I just wanted to see you grow. How can you claim all that and then do all that? And I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
No, at the end of the day, they were a commodity. They were a means to an end. And I didn't feel sorry. I would see glimpses and pieces of the humanity in him, but then the next scene, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe he's not so bad. And then he'd do something and I'd be like, no, bye.
It was like the end justified the means, but I'm like, but these are people.
Yeah, they are. And they're children. They were children. And so I think his situation, his end, if you will, that was a long time coming.
It was. And I like the symbolism of 11 walking. She does say goodbye to him, but she doesn't say, I understand. Because again, she's still a kid. She's still only a teenager. Us as adults can't comprehend, what he was thinking. So there's no way. And I think to put that on her.
Exactly.
But again, that was really unfair. And obviously, she's chosen Hopper anyway. So yeah, I really like that scene. There was a comment earlier about Dr. Owens. Now, my perception of Dr. Owens has changed. Yes. He got my sympathy. And is he still handcuffed in there? It never went back to him.
That's a good question.
They never went back to him.
I'm like, poor
is he
man.
alive? Is he dead?
So there's something I want to ask y'all, and this is a time period, because I do not believe if this was like, okay, they're doing it in 2020, they're doing it in the 2010s. I do not believe that if this was shown in this time period, this would be as popular. Doing it in the 80s, someone mentioned earlier, it's not just member berries, it's actual nostalgia. When you see they care about the little things like New Coke, the music for me has been a huge thing. And I want to read y'all off some things real quick. Every Breath You Take by The Police. Should I Stay or Should I Go Now? Hazy Shade of Winter by The Bagels. Nocturnal Me. Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart. Girls on Film by Duran Duran. Just Because People Tell You. Maybe I'm Twist of Fate by Olivia Newton-John. There's so much good fucking music. Rock You Like a Hurricane. There's so much good music. Whip it good. Da-na-na-na-na.
Yes.
Every time they go to the arcade. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. Time after time. Metallica, Master of Puppets in this last season has to stand out as I mean, that's got Metallica back on the charts for Metallica fans. Yeah, they sold out when they got older. But for the fans that love them, that have always loved their original music, there's even a couple of songs in later albums that I like. For fans of Metallica, this was a huge thing. I mean, it was just seeing Eddie up on that fucking trailer with that guitar. Dun, 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 dun. The music has made the show. And if it wasn't in the time period, do you guys agree that if it wasn't in the time period, we wouldn't have this?
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I agree. And just not just the setting, but things that need to happen. You can't have the internet, you can't have mobile because it would completely ruin it.
They'd be Googling how to kill the Demogorgon. No,
Yeah.
no, you gotta handle that shit on your own.
I'm thinking of and just how things work. Because I've seen comments like from young people like, "Oh my god, parents just left the kids." I'm like, "Where did you? Because you just went out on your bike and you played in the woods and
You could do that.
you built dens and you did. There was none of this like nannying going off, was it? And I can't believe the kids have been left to their own devices. Or a lot were. This is what you did. They weren't coddled as they are now.
Yeah.
And it needs to be like that for certain elements to work. So but I'm loving the music and the fashion and how the music's the song running up that hill, the lyrics and Master of Puppets,
Yeah.
the lyrics in it are perfect for what's going off at the time. It's just used to such good effect. It's not just this is a cool song with a cool solo. When it is, and it works like that, but also oh god, yeah, look at these lyrics, and yeah, that means that, and that means that, and wow, and just fantastic. And I'm so glad, young people are discovering Metallica and Kate Bush. And that can only be a good thing.
Yeah.
And A Nightmare on Elm Street as well. There's a generation that hasn't seen that yet. And it's all good.
And there are some people that are like, oh my god, the dumbass generation, this new dumbass generation just found out about Metallica, or they just found out about Kate Bush, or they just found out about this song. And I'm like, you know what? The more and for the haters out there that say shit like that, the more this next generation learns the shit we learned, the better off they're going to be.
Yes.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I absolutely agree.
And I think it's wonderful that, the character like Eddie, everybody's taking to him. No matter what, whether you're a metalhead or what, the younger generation, adore him. There's been so many TikToks and all this and that. And, they really took him to their hearts. And it's, and that wouldn't have happened, I don't think. It's a really unusual circumstance. But everybody loves him. He's a wonderful actor. And he's a Brit as well. Brits are taking over. And Vecna's a Brit as well, what
New British invasion.
Yeah.
Another one, yeah. Yes, there was a Journey song, Separate Ways.
Yep.
My favorite Journey song.
What did you think to Vecna? Do you think finally having somebody from the Upside Down who can talk, I felt it really cemented everything, because up until that point it had just been kind of like the monster of the season. And now we kind of got it a little bit in season 3 when the Mind Flayer was talking through the zombies, but this was like, you got that you've got motive there, you've got that intelligence, and he's just,
Mhm.
it really is terrifying.
And it
That
and it
direct
all
link,
goes
that direct connection. Yeah.
and it all and yeah, absolutely, Arwen. It's a connection because, like I said earlier, watching that door open, it's not just opening a door. The locks are unlocking. Something with telekinetic powers was opening those locks. And for a long time, people have been like, oh, that was 11 and you didn't see her and yada, yada, yada. No, that was Vecna pushing his way through, and he opened the locks on the door. And that let the Demigorgon in, and that led him to run to the shed, and then the Demigorgon got him in the shed.
Yeah.
So it connects. Everything connects. Finding out that Vecna 1 is the Mind Flayer. It's just the particles. Those particles that make up the Mind Flayer that were in 3. It's all done by Vecna. He's all been doing this at that house. And he has telekinetic powers just like 11. And he's pissed because 11 beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's weird. It's a little weird when he tells her in this season, I've been waiting for you. I wanted nothing more than to have you for myself. But you know what? You've been such a bitch that I'm just going to kill your friend in front of you. And then I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
just
like, damn.
I'm gonna make you watch. I wanted you by my side, but now I'm just gonna make you watch, and then I'm gonna kill you.
Done with you.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
But on a mental note, you don't stand Vecna up, yeah.
He's a big bad. He's definitely a big bad.
Oh yeah, is it?
Pops has a question. What do you think of how do you think Russia fits into all of this? Russia opened the gate in season 3. Russia had the gate open, and that was like a portal from Russia to the U.S. So, and of course, that's how and God help me, when they ended season 3 and they're in Russia and they're like, no, not the American. And I'm like, oh my God, is Hopper alive? Is Hopper alive? Is Hopper?
Yeah.
Please be alive, Hopper. Please be the American in the cell. And then they show you that little sneak preview where they're in the snow, and it's the camera's panning over the line of prisoners, and then you see Hopper, and I was like, yes, yes,
Hell yes.
Yes. Yeah, I yes, one of the greatest moments, and keep his ass alive. Don't kill him, because they've got to go to Enzo's. They've got to go to Enzo's. Him and Winona Ryder have to go to Enzo's and have dinner. She owes him dinner at Enzo's. She stood him up, and she made a promise to go with him after all that shit was done, and then he's gone. And SKOL and Tuck and Roll, Snowdub, what's going on, brother?
And I actually thought involving Russia too was so brilliant, because that was such a prevalent part of our culture back then. This war between the Americans in the West, and then you have the Russians, and this whole is America gonna nuke first? Is Russia gonna nuke first? It was like, these two powers kind of having this animosity of thought towards each other. At least that was the culture of the day, and I thought that was kind of brilliant to harken back to that.
Again, yeah, it was, for somebody who didn't live through that, I found it fascinating. I did not realize like the level of paranoia that was going off, because it could have been a reality. Yet that is what people really thought. And I just think, again now you've got another human threat as well as the supernatural stuff. And again, I just think it works really well, and it feeds into the old like tone of the show. Very much. I just love. It's. I really like the scene. I couldn't wait for him to break out, and when he fights that Demigorgon with the sword, with the Conan sword, I'm going, come on, Hopper! It's like,
yes.
To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you.
Now I need to see Hopper in a fantasy thing.
And to hear the lamentations of Joyce.
Well, one of the most famous songs in the world, 99 Red Balloons by Nana, comes out of that era. And that's kind of what it's about, us blowing each other up. And it all, again, it kind of starts with the Americans and the Russians. That was the feel of the day.
But do you think then that in season 5, the only way to beat this is, do you think there's going to be like a American and Russian alliance? Because I would like
that'd be interesting.
The guy to, what was he called? Enzo. He was called Enzo, wasn't he? Who helps Hopper escape? It'd be nice to see him again. And it took me all season to realize it was the man we've known him from Game of Thrones. Like, I know that face. Where do I know that face? It took me into a season. And I'm like, that's it. And again, I thought he was a brilliant supporting character.
A girl does not ask questions.
Eddie does live. Hell yes, he lives.
Eddie does live.
And that may very well be one of the ends of this. Do you think they will go full Buffy and the entire town's going to get swallowed into the gate, and then they'll seal it?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good.
I hope not. I want to see a victory. I want to see a hardcore victory of good triumphing against evil.
Well, we can get that they can still, it can still swallow the whole town.
But I don't want the whole town to be swallowed. I like the town, damn it. I don't want, but let me put it this way. I have so much faith right now from what I've seen of these past 4 seasons. If the town is swallowed, something good will happen. I mean, I won't care. In other words, I'll be like, all right, there was a purpose for it. There was a reason. This is how it happened. I can deal. I don't think I'll be crushed. So I do. I have faith in this writing. I mean, shit, poor Eddie, but I'm still going to watch it, even though I cried like a damn baby. Every time I saw it, I was like, it made sense. In other words, I wasn't angry about it. I understood it. So.
And yeah, Chris, 5's going to be the last season.
Yeah.
They've already confirmed that season 5 is the last season. So the new season we're going to get, that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of this.
I'm glad that there's a definite end, because some TV shows that just kept going and going, and again that I think they've got a plan. They know how to get there. If that's the time they need, then hopefully it's going to be satisfying, because they haven't got to rush anything, alter things. So I've got a good feeling about this.
I'm sorry, y'all. My son just walked in here and informed me he was working this morning. So I'm like, "Are you working?" He's like, "Yeah." So I got to go take him to work. I didn't know.
Really quick before you leave, but give us a quick score and your final thoughts on season 4.
This season 10.
This season
10. 10. And thoughts on it. I thought it was brilliantly done. I thought the writing was stellar. A lot of times when a show's got like multiple threads going on, I will prefer maybe these 2 over these 2 or these 3 over that one. I was interested in every thread. I wanted to know what the hell was going on with the kids out in California. I wanted to know what the hell was going on with the kids in Hawkins. I wanted to know, oh my God, what's going on over in Russia with Hopper. I mean, I was just, every single thread it showed, I'm like, yeah, I'm there. So yeah, I love this freaking show, and I hope season 5 is just as stellar, and I'm hoping for the best season ever. I really am. So 10, y'all.
Yeah.
10. Eddie gets in a 12. Eddie gets in a 12.
And we've got to do this again, because I feel like we've only this hour has like skipped by like a second.
It's flew by. There's so much more to get into. So yeah, we need a volume 2.
We need a volume 2 with Starry and Arwyn. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we will plan that out for the future. Arwyn, drive safe.
All right. I love
Be
y'all.
safe. Drive safe.
Lovely
We
to
love
see you,
y'all.
Owen.
You
Bye,
too,
love.
Starry Eddie girl. Bye.
Bye. Oh gosh, how do I follow Owen now? She's basically said yeah, I just think, it was worth the wait because we have been waiting for this for such a long time, and they delivered. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say 10 out of 10. It's been a long time since I've been that invested in a show that I've wanted. I mean, I stayed up, until the early hours to watch it, and I haven't done that since sort of early Game of Thrones. Yeah, the characters that was only in one episode, like Chrissy, I really liked her, and it was a shame that she died, and the way she died was so horrific. I think that was the turning point. The way she died was so unexpected, and suddenly you realised we're into adult territory now. We've gone into Nightmare on Elm Street, and it just made me really sit up and take notice. And I think, the kids are only going to get older. What else? It might be the point that I might be too scared. I might be watching it behind the sofa like Doctor Who, So yeah, I just think it's really, I just want everybody to have a satisfying conclusion. And, with Eddie, I think people kind of, as much as we said that he died, there was a reason for it. There was a definite character arc in one season that was the perfect way to do it. All the hallmarks were there. He kept running away, thought he was a coward. Then he found something to care about. Everything with Dustin, and just you could see it all laid out, and it just, the payoff was amazing. And again, and it's not rocket science. This is just the stuff that we want,
Yeah.
And he earned that moment, and we're right there. And I think that's why everyone's just, it's just Eddie, and I can't believe it. I do wonder, do you think some of the other, like the main cast are like, oh, everyone's forgot about us. All everyone's bothered about is Eddie and Vecna.
That happens. That's one of the things you don't see a lot. Eventually, you'll hear about it. Oh, well, when they brought this person in, I got so jealous or whatever. I know that the kid that plays, oh my God, I can't think of his name because it's too early in the damn morning. Dustin.
Yes.
The kid that plays Dustin absolutely loved working with him. He said that was his favorite parts of this season was getting to work with him, and how cool it was with Eddie. That he said it felt like going back to season 2 with him working with Steve.
Yeah.
When they were doing the buddy thing, that's what it reminded him of. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Hearing that at least to him, that jealousy wasn't there.
Yeah.
They keep that. They need to keep that.
They don't need to keep that. But I think they are really lucky with the cast that they've got. They could, because some child actors can just be brats, but I do think because they've grown up with each other, I do think like the connections that are all there, they are kind of genuine, and it makes me think about, when you see the behind the scenes stuff for the Lord of the Rings, because they were all there at the same time. They got like this community, and you just can't help but forge them bonds. And I think it's got that kind of same feel to it. And again, it's rare, in this kind of culture. I saw an interview with Matthew Modine and Millie Bobby Brown, and they just absolutely adore each other. And again, like he's been working with her since she was such a little girl, and they've grown up, and it's just, like it is really like a paternal relationship. And again, I get all warm and fuzzy. It's lovely.
So before we get into your final thoughts and your score, since you brought it up, since you just brought it up,
all right.
Give me 1 second to share. I'm gonna make a little announcement for tomorrow night on the Late Show. Since you brought up Lord of the Rings, that is on its way to my house today.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I have the
It's
digital
okay.
codes already for the
Oh,
4K movies on digital. So I'm going to be giving away the digital codes I get in this package
mm,
to some lucky winner on Friday night that will get all 3 Hobbit extended edition movies and all 3 Lord of the Rings extended edition movies digitally. So
wow.
if you are a huge fan, you do not have them on digital, I'm going to be giving away the codes on Friday night. So, but yeah, I've been waiting for this for a long time. And
Oh,
when
the
I got
artwork
the
looks amazing.
opportunity,
Yeah.
I got the opportunity to get that on
Mhm.
sale, and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we are going to be giving away those codes Friday night for Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit extended editions. They're all 4K. I believe the codes are 4K. I hope they're 4K. If they're not, I'm sorry, but they should be 4K.
Should be, yeah.
So before we wrap this up, give us your score for season 4, and tell us what you think so far about this season and anything else Stranger Things you wanna throw out there.
Oh gosh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna give it 9.5 out of 10. I'll explain why. Just because there was a couple of little things like the Jonathan thing that I think just didn't quite like. I think Mike and Will and Jonathan kind of forgot about, that story thread probably didn't quite get as much attention as it maybe needed to. I mean, it's not a massive thing, but I think if they'd have got a bit more to do, I think that would have been a 10. So yeah, so I'm knocking off half a point, 0.5 or a point for that. And yeah, just keep going, just keep writing really good characters, real characters, and get that conclusion. We don't want a mystery box. Obviously, you can't answer everything because we need some mysteries into next season. I just hope everything gets wrapped up in a sensible. We haven't been cheated. We've invested so many years into this that we deserve a good finale, and not like if they've got to subvert expectations, do it in a sensible manner. We don't want characters suddenly, not acting that themselves. And I think because they've got that end point, I think we'll do it. Yeah. So it's just waiting now for it to happen. And God, it's going to be about 3 years. What are we going to do in the meantime? Watch Lord of the Rings. Let's watch Lord of the Rings.
That's what I'm going to be doing this weekend is watching The Hobbit and Lord of the
I
Rings.
don't blame you. Yeah. So what's your final rating?
My final rating is going to be a 9. I agree with Chris Persia. I think that the first season probably got a 9.5 for me. This season got a 9. It's definitely up from season 3. I didn't like season 3, but I've gone back and watched season 3 again. I went back and watched everything after I watched 4. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and watch everything. So we've been watching everything. And I don't dislike season 3 as much as I did originally. Especially the never ending story bit at the end with Dusty Buns and yeah. So I think that his Phoebe Cates girlfriend, she's like Phoebe Cates, but really smart. I'm like,
I was just like, I hope we get to see more of Susie, because I do think she has been a bit more. She's been a bit of a plot device. Like, Susie can do anything. Do we need help? Susie can do it. Like, can we find out a bit more about Susie?
And I think Snowdub nails it on the head right there. Sure, the Mind Flayers was terrifying, but I think it lost something in season 3. And this has, okay, well, it's not just the Mind Flayer. Something is behind the Mind Flayer. There's an even bigger bad. And they didn't just go, it's bigger, it's stronger, or anything like that. It's weaker. I mean,
Yeah.
it's used the Mind Flayer as kind of like a pawn. These are the soldiers it has out in front of it. So the Demigorgons, the Mind Flayer, all this stuff, the way it used Billy, everything. These have been its puppets, and it is the puppet master. What a
Master
wonderful
of
way
Puppets, there you see.
to do Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
And I think that has really brought me back in and even let me go back and look at things like the lock in the first episode and season 3 and even things in season 2. It all connects into this and it actually makes sense. Whether or not they did this originally, whether or not this was the original idea that Vecna would be like Elle and he would be the one behind all of this, whether they originally had that thought out or whether this was something they did between season 3 and 4, they did it really well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. See, I'd say, like you say, I'd never figured about the lock. But yeah, just little, and if it's a happy accident, fair enough. But I just think if it's not good writing, that I think it's going back, using those opportunities to make, we've done this, let's link it. It's nice for writers to actually go back and remember what they've done, because you don't always get that.
No.
As Game of Thrones showed us, so it is nice that there is that continuity.
And absolutely. And I think they've done a really good job doing that. Overall, so far, I would give this whole series a 9. Now, I wouldn't have given it a 9. I would have probably given it a 7 after season 3. Yeah. But like I said, 4 did a lot to bring me back in and go, okay, all of this is connected. All of this now is starting to make sense. Things that I was like, well, you screwed up there, have now been wrapped up in this package of, no, it's been this thing all along. It's been this person. And they're connected, obviously, to Elle. How did you do it? Because he had the same power. He has the same power she has. We knew that Papa was doing this little, Xavier school for the gifted, but twisted.
Yeah.
Almost an upside down version of the X-Men. And we got to meet 8. 8's out there. I want to see what 8's doing. I want to see 8 come back.
I think she's going to come back.
And be a part of this and help. I would love to see that. So, guys, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'd seen this theory about that 8's going to come back because, 11 plus 8 plus 1 equals 20, which would link to the whole like D&D thing. I just thought, that's interesting.
So shit.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. 8
until I'd read that, yeah.
8, 11, and 1 equals 20. Holy shit. Those bastards.
I know.
Those bastards.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I bet you they did that on purpose. To no one's ever going to figure this shit out.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so if that happens,
D20.
I just want to say that's a Loki's Mornings of Mischief exclusive.
And Starry Eyed broke the news. D20. Holy shit. I didn't even think about that. Well, that's it this morning. I want a big thank you to Starry Eyed Girl. I know it's tough sometimes to schedule these and for you to come on, but seriously, I so very much appreciate it. Thank you so much, Starry.
Thank you so much for having me. It's lovely talking to you and talking to Arwyn and the chat and even Mark, with his caramel obsession. I'm surprised he didn't start talking about caramel demobars.
Demigorgons? God help us.
But yeah, anytime. And it will actually get easy now because the boys finish school next week. So I won't have to do the school run, which is around this kind of time. So yeah, hopefully you'll see more of me in the coming weeks. So
I hope so. You're always welcome on Mornings of Mischief. Would love to have you on anytime you can make it.
Thank you.
Starry's like the rock star of the UK when it comes to streams.
Yeah.
So big thank you. Big thank you to Arwyn if she's still listening. I don't know if she is or not. She's probably like, boy, I have to take you to work, son of a bitch. Missed the end of the damn show.
Yes, we'll definitely do it. We'll do it again, Arwen. We'll definitely do it again.
Yes, we're going to do it again. We are absolutely going to do this again. Guys, me and Adega will be on later tonight. Of course, we'll be back Friday for our Orville review. That'll be Friday. That'll be tomorrow morning. And then we've got Friday Night Late Show with Loki and Mixing Iron Man. Hopefully Mixing Iron Man will be there this week. If he's not, we will update. I will let you know. But guys, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend-ander. And I can't wait for our next Stranger Things discussion. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.